questions for Coach Hill?
I mean, exhibition against an inferior opponent, a lower level team. What were you looking for? What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, Rust, I was impressed with them. I thought that they really came out and was prepared to compete. And I knew that when scheduling them. So, and I think they've won 2 championships back to back, and they're trying to three-peat. So, I have a lot of respect for them. And I thought for the most part they would be physical and not be afraid to go up against us. As far as my team is concerned, we needed this dress rehearsal before we have to play in front of 9,000 fans on the 6th. And no matter what, you never know what your team's going to do when the lights come on and when they smell the popcorn. And I thought that they were excited, and I was really surprised that we had we had a good crowd there, And so we had been experimenting with the game times. So for me, my anxiety goes up with the 3 o'clock game time, but it has really worked for us with the 3 o'clock game time as far as allowing people to go to church, come in, and be able to support our team.
You've done similar exhibitions before with like Delta State and teams like that. It seems like you want to help these other teams by doing that. How did the game with Rust come about?
Well, I know the coach, and he wanted an opportunity to get his kids to play on this stage, and I thought it would be great. Anytime we can support teams in state, we want to do that. If you look at our schedule, we always have at least 2 to 3 in-state teams. Well, I know we have Southern Miss, and I think I know we have Alcorn. Like, we always play teams in state. We just think it's important to be able to support them. A lot of them are not on full scholarships, and so they need the support. And anytime we can do it, I'm game. And I have a lot of respect for the coach. I thought he would do a really good job in getting his team prepared as much as possible.
What was the first message, or what will be the first message you deliver to your girls about what you saw on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, like I told them in the huddle after the game, I thought their intent was to play well every time they stepped out on the floor. Like, I did not think that people weren't locked in or did not try. And so that's the beginning, right? That's half the battle. And so now my focus is, okay, your heart wants it, but let's go ahead and be disciplined. Let's do the little things that will allow you to get the results that you want. As you can see, I played everybody a considerable amount of minutes, and I think that that's going to be important right now as I try to develop my bench, develop our depth. And so
That's what it looked at times like you were strategically going with different lineups on the floor.
And that's why you have exhibition games. You have exhibition games so you can go through, the pregame warm-up and where you sit, and, oh, I don't like that, and some real officials, and you do those things and get the announcements so everyone can go through that experience. But I had like 8 different lineups that I was running through because, honestly, I don't know who our starting 5 is right now. It's really, truly, it's not coach speak, it's up in the air. And so I wanted to give everybody an opportunity, and I thought it would be cool to throw a freshman in there.
Did you see anything on how your portal players are melding with your returning players today?
I think all coaches are being challenged right now to mesh the portal kids with the returning kids. And I tell our team all the time, like, the ladies from Team 48, you've been to Sweet 16. And yes, Kennedy Todd Williams was there 2 years ago, but not last year. And KK wasn't there, and Carissa wasn't there, and the 5 freshmen wasn't there. So it is important for them to lead and teach the Ole Miss way and teach what the expectations are. And that is what the biggest challenge is, because you go and you fill in pieces that you know you need and you bring them in, but you still like need them to follow a little bit until they understand the Ole Miss way, until they understand what to expect. And that's challenging for someone like KK, who is a point guard. And my point guards run my team, but like she's not ready to do it yet. And so I need Maddie to step up and Snutter to step up and Slim to step up, those people to step up and show the way. And then eventually it'll all come together.
You bring up the Ole Miss way, and I want to ask you about that. What is the Ole Miss way, your definition, and then how difficult has it been since you first got here to install that way?
Well, it's been easy because now we have some stability. So we have players coming back. A lot know what to expect. Yeah, we got 8 new players, but we have 7 returners, 62% of scoring return. And so, like, they understand the Ole Miss way. Defensively, the Ole Miss way is our philosophy, which is dictate and disrupt. And there's a system. Offensively, we have a system as well that now, usually every year, I kind of look at my team and say, okay, well, we'll do this offensively. And I just seen the flow and the confidence my players have developed from defensively having a system. And so now it's offensively, it's pace and space, it's rebounding on the defensive end, running and sharing the ball. Those are the things that we want to consistently do. And I thought you had a couple flashes of that today with us being able to get a clean rebound and get it up the floor right away. That's how we want to play.
I don't know that we'll have another media op between now and when you open up, but Queens is a little bit of an odd opponent for Ole Miss. How did that game come about?
I don't know. Patrick Henry is overscheduling, and we liked the Queens game. We liked Queens as a first opponent because we knew we had Oklahoma right after them, and they're a top 25 team. And so we wanted to have an opportunity to prepare ourselves one more time, but even better. I thought Russ did a phenomenal job. I think that they're going to be a lot to deal with in their conference, right? Now we have Queens, a Division I team that we expect to compete in a ruckus environment. That's a lot. That's a big challenge. But we're hoping our 6-man kids crew can push us along and allow us to work out some jitters. And you'll see me tighten up some rotations that game as we prepare for what I think is a very tough non-conference schedule.
So where are you at on the happy meter from 1 to 10 on what you saw?
Well, I'm 10. I'm very pleased that we didn't have any injuries. You always, if it is a game and you're not really playing for a win or loss in the column, you're like, come on, please. You want everyone to be safe. So I was really pleased with that. Their intent and what they were trying to do, I would give it, an 8. I thought everyone was in good spirits and really tried. Execution, we got a ways to go. Execution, we have a ways to go. Some of that wasn't their fault. Some of that was the way I was subbing. It wasn't a normal sub pattern. And so it didn't give them a chance to really feel the flow of the game. I don't think anybody played over 25 minutes, So, and a lot of people got a lot of minutes. So, I'll shore that up and be able to give you something before the Oklahoma game. I'm sure we'll have a media day.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. All right, so you're going to have a big crowd in here for Queens.
Oklahoma, too.
There should be a huge crowd. That's what I'm getting at.
It better be Oxford now.
I mean, you're a nationally ranked program. You've already proven you can compete with the best. What you've built from when you got here now is incredible. What about the fan support? What is your message to the fans? not necessarily for the Queens game,
Yeah.
but for the Oklahoma game.
Well, Oklahoma, we need everybody to show up. Everywhere I've been in town, they've been like, Coach, I got season tickets. Coach, I'm coming November 9th. Everyone's ready to come out and support us. And even today is an indicator of, people are starting to say, you know what, let me come and support the women's team. Because there were more people than I expected. They started to leave once they felt like we had it in the bag, and I get that. Sometimes I try to beat the traffic too. For the football games, our football team's doing so well. I try to get out of there, but we expect to have a really good crowd for Oklahoma and all of our games, because if we want to be a nationally ranked program, that's just not the players and the coaches. That's fans as well. And so that's the missing piece. And they finished out really strong. Oxford showed up, and we need them to continue to do the same thing moving forward.
I'm sure we'll get a chance to discuss Oklahoma in detail,
Yeah.
but peripherally, what do you know about Queens right now?
I have not had a chance to watch them yet. The only reason why I know about Oklahoma is because we played them last year, and we played them with the 3v3 USA basketball. And so that is why I know about them. But Queens, like you said, it's a unique opponent because we've never played them. I know the coach really well, and I'm excited to learn about them. I'm going to start watching them probably at the end of this week.
I guess one last thing.
Yeah.
Are those Halloween decorations holding up at your house?
They are, we've been holding out. We got a couple that doesn't allow me to get into the guest room right now because my husband decided to put them in the guest room. So for my Oxford natives, come by and check us out. We got good candy, and we got a lot of scary surprises for Halloween.
Any other questions? Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.